Olá, pessoal! Hello, everyone! Welcome to the Portuguese with Laura, my channel here on YouTube, and welcome to this Q&A with Laura, the live Portuguese class where I answer all of your questions in Portuguese. So whether if it's pronouncing words, picking up new phrases and expressions, or even understanding Brazilian culture, which you can see right now, there's a car passing down the street with a very high music, and that's very common here. So even if it is to understand these cultural nuances here, I'm here for it. I'm here to help you and to guide you with that. So that's what we're doing here today in this live class. Boa noite! Boa noite a todos e a todas. Good night to everyone. So yeah, that's it. If you have questions anytime in the middle of this class, you can leave it in the chat for me, okay? And I will answer it in the end. So you can leave the questions here in the chat. If you're watching this as a recording, you can leave questions in the comments too, and I will answer in the next Q&A live, okay? So give me questions here, guys, so I can help you. And okay. So before we get started, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell here so you don't miss any of my future videos, which I upload every week, okay? I'm also on other social media, so you can find me on Instagram, like singbrazilian, and also on TikTok. So follow me there too. It's singbrazilian, okay? Singbrazilian. Very good. So let me take it off now and we can move on. Do not forget to subscribe, okay? And let's get into today's questions. So I separated 4 questions for today, okay? And feel free to drop your own questions here anytime you have a new one, okay? So you can leave it in the comments. Also, there is a Google Forms link in the description. If you want to leave an anonymous question or something like that, you can use the Google Forms too, okay? So, ready? Prontos? Are you ready? Tell me here in the chat, I'm ready. So, vamos lá. Let's go. So, the first question, let me put here the first question. What is the difference between para and por? This is a very common question, okay? I don't know if at any point you had this question, okay? I don't know if at any point you asked yourself that and you couldn't find an answer, but today I'm gonna answer that, okay? So what is the difference between para and por? Well, both of them can be used to indicate for or to in English, okay? And por can even indicate by in English, okay? But I will show you more specific situations and when you should use each one of them, okay? Because it's not just translating from English, you know, it will not always follow that rule. It's not just translating. You need to try to memorize examples, okay? You need to try to memorize situations in which you would use one and not use the other, okay? So just so you know, at first, just so you know, which one is more often, which one you use more often? Para, okay? So we use para much more often than we use por, okay? So if you had to choose one, choose para. You know, if you are in doubt, use para every time and the chances to be right will be much higher, okay? You will have much more chances to be right if you use para. But I will also show you the situations in which you should use por, okay? So first, something else here. In Portuguese, when we are speaking, you know, in spoken language, we tend to say pra instead of para. Okay, so when it's an informal situation, I'm here talking to my friends, I do not say Comprei um presente para você. No, comprei um presente para você. Comprei um presente para você. Okay? So, pra instead of para. Okay? This is informal. You shouldn't write pra. You know, you're writing an email, something more formal. Put para. If you want to be informal, if you are talking, or even if you're texting with your friends, you can say pra. Okay? And also, if it is before an article, a masculine article, if it's before o, instead of saying para o, you can say pro. So, pra, pro. Okay? This is also informal. Okay? So, the first use of the word para is to indicate a purpose, you know, a reason why you do something. So let me give you examples here. I'm going to share my screen so I can write down some examples for you. So the first one here, you could say, eu quero aprender português para viajar. So, eu quero aprender português para viajar. I want to learn Portuguese to travel, for traveling. So, para viajar. See here, that is the your goal, the reason, the purpose why you learn Portuguese. Para viajar. Okay? In this case, you do not use por, you only use para. Okay? Another example. Eu trabalho para viver. So, eu trabalho para viver. I work for a living. Okay? I work for a living. Like, I'm not rich, I have to work. Eu trabalho para viver. What else? Eu ouço música para relaxar. I listen to music to relax. Okay, so eu ouço música para relaxar. For example, okay? And there's one from a song that I had this song stuck in my head today, you know? It's called Por Você Eu Bebo Mar de Canudinho. I'm gonna leave it in the description later, but I'm gonna show you as an example too in the por. But there is also a line from this song that can be used here. That is this. Faço de tudo pra ganhar seu coração. Like, I do anything to win your heart, you know, to get your heart, to win your heart. So, faço de tudo pra ganhar seu coração. And this is an example from a song. It says, faço de tudo pra ganhar seu coração. Pra ganhar. Sim, pra ganhar. Like I told you, when it's informal, when it's an informal situation, you say pra instead of para. Okay? So, very good. And there's another example from another song here that I separated. That is called, check because I forgot. Nada por mim. We're also gonna use this for por, but there is a sentence here for para. Is this one. Eu faço só pra te agradar. Eu faço só pra te agradar. See here the pra again instead of para. So, I do this only to please you. Só pra te agradar. See? One more example that is informal. And that's why songs are so good for this, you know, because you will see how we actually speak. If you learn this through books, you will see the correct way. You will probably not see pra in books, okay? But in songs, you will. So, it's a very good resource for learning. And the second way in which we use the para, let me go back here. So, the second way in which we can use the para is to indicate a destination or a direction, okay? So when you want to reach a destination or a direction, and it can be in a physical meaning, okay? Or it can be like in theory or something like feelings, something that is not touchable. Let me give you examples. So, for example, eu vou para o trabalho todo dia. I go to work every day. So, eu vou para o trabalho todo dia. So, this para here indicates my destination. What is my destination? O trabalho, okay? O trabalho is my destination. So, I use para. Eu vou para o trabalho todo dia. If I want to be more informal here, how can I say? Eu vou pro trabalho todo dia. Eu vou pro trabalho todo dia. Eu vou pro trabalho todo dia. See, I'm linking everything here. Pro trabalho todo dia. Informal, okay? Remember this. Next example. Nós vamos para o Brasil no próximo ano. So, nós vamos para o Brasil just a second. So here, nós vamos para o Brasil no próximo ano. This one can also be replaced by pro. Nós vamos para o Brasil no próximo ano. We are going to Brazil next year. Pro Brasil, okay? If you want to sound more informal. Okay, another meaning here that is like destination, but not something that is a clear destination. So, for example, ele está distraído. Put here. Ele está distraído, olhando para o lado. So, he's distracted, looking away, looking to his sides. Okay, lado is side. And that's how we say this, to look away, olhando pro lado, like this. So, see here. See how I said olhando pro lado? It's natural for me to say pro, olhando pro lado. So, this would be the informal way, the formal way, olhando para o lado. So, the destination of his look is o lado, okay? So, it's another case of destination, even though it's not a clear destination. And another one, like I said at the beginning, comprei presente para você. Comprei presente para você. I got you a present. I bought you a present. So, here you could say, comprei presente para você. Para você. See how we're linking? Comprei presente para você. So you are the destination of my present. You know, you are the receiver. So it can be a destination or a receiver, okay, of that action. Very good. So the next situation, this was the second situation in which we use para. The third one is to say for a specific deadline you have. So if you have a specific deadline, you need to use para. Example. Minha passagem é para amanhã. My ticket is for tomorrow. Like I have a plane ticket and is for tomorrow. So, minha passagem é para amanhã. My ticket is for tomorrow. Minha passagem é para amanhã. Another example. Eu tenho muitos sonhos para esse ano. Eu tenho muitos sonhos para esse ano. I have many dreams for this year. Okay? So, it's not like, it does not give this idea of a deadline I have to do. But it sets a deadline. You know, it sets a specific time. It sets a specific time. A duration of time there. Esse ano. So, para esse ano. For this year. In this case, it's para, not por. Okay? Another way is to indicate opinion. Okay? So, if something is for you, that is easy. Maybe for him, that is not easy, but for you, it's easy. So, no, that's not it. The example is, é fácil para mim. It's easy for me. So, for example, Portuguese. fácil para mim. Português é fácil para mim. Eu sou brasileira. So, Portuguese is easy for me because I'm Brazilian. Português é fácil para mim. So, pra, I already put in the informal way. Para mim. I'm saying my opinion. I'm saying something that is easy for me. Maybe not for everyone, but para mim. Okay? There's a way to use por to indicate opinion too. But it's, for example, you're trying to decide something. And let's say you need to decide if you're going to this restaurant or to that restaurant. So you can say, por mim, a gente vai no McDonald's. So this is how we say McDonald's. 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 So, por mim, a gente vai no McDonald's. Por mim, like this would be like for me, in my opinion, por mim, a gente vai no McDonald's. So, there's a difference here, okay? Português é fácil pra mim, for me, pra mim, português é fácil, e por mim, a gente vai no McDonald's. So, use this por mim when you wanna express your opinion about something that is being discussed. So there are options and you want to choose one. You want to say your opinion on that matter. You want to choose an option. You say por mim. This would be like in my opinion, for me. Okay? And pra mim, it's something easy for you. Not for everyone, but for you. Pra mim. Okay? I'm not sure if this is clear. So if you have questions, you can tell me. What else? Viajar todo ano é importante para eles. So, one more example. Viajar todo ano é importante para eles. So, traveling every year is important for them. Para eles. Para eles. For them. Maybe not for me. Okay? So, it's also specific. Okay. These are some common uses for para that I found, okay? Some common uses for para that I wanted to show you. Now, let's talk about some common uses for por, okay? So, let's start with common uses for por. Like I said, para is more common. So, if you are in doubt, use para. Most of the cases is gonna be para. But sometimes it's por. And there are specific situations, specific examples that if you know about, you will already, like, next time you will say, in this case is por, in this case is para. So the first situation in which we should use por, forgot something. So for por, we also have some contractions, okay? Like we have for para, that becomes pra or pro. If you have the article o, becomes pro, pra. We also have those contractions for por. So, por example, por mais o, por plus the article. Sorry about that. Por plus the article o becomes pelo. It doesn't make sense. I know there is no L here. Now there is an L, but I don't know why. And then por plus a becomes pela. Okay? So it can be in the plural too. Pelos, pelas. Okay? So keep this in mind. We're going to see examples, these contractions. The first way we can use the por is when you do something for someone or on behalf of someone, okay? So you do something for that person or on behalf of that person, you can use por. I have one example from a song for you too. The song is called Por Você. Por Você. Look it up later. So, Por Você, Barão Vermelho is the band. Barão Vermelho. He repeats many times, por você, por você. One that I have here is this one. Por você, eu deixaria de beber. So, por você, for you, eu deixaria de beber. I would quit drinking. I would stop drinking. Okay? And then he says many times, like he repeats this structure. Por você. And he says many things, This is a very beautiful song. I really enjoy it. And I recommend you to listen to this later so you memorize this. Por você, for you. When you should use it. And then there's that other song I told you about. Por você, eu bebo mar de canudinho. It's the name of the song, but it's also a line from the song, from the chorus. So it's like this. Por você eu bebo mar de canudinho e através polo noite de chatinho. It's very fun. This is a fun song. So, por você eu bebo mar. For you, I drink the sea. Eu bebo o mar de canudinho, like with a straw, you know? With a straw you use to drink stuff. So, a small straw would be a canudinho. Canudinho. Por você, eu bebo mar de canudinho. For you, I would even like drink the sea with a little straw. Okay? Search for this song too. It's cool. Another example from another song is this one. Não faz assim, não faça nada por mim. This is called Nada por mim. Nada por mim. By the band Kid Abelha. I really enjoyed this song too. This one is a MPB, okay? MPB or rock nacional. So, nada por mim. So, don't do it like this. Não faz assim. Don't do this. Não faça nada por mim. Don't do anything for me. Do nothing for me. In Portuguese, we can deny twice in the same sentence, okay? For us, there's no grammatical problem with that. I can say não and nada in the same sentence. No and nothing in the same sentence. It's not a problem in Portuguese, so it's not wrong to say não faça nada por mim. Don't do anything for me, okay? It's okay to say that. Okay, another way we can use por is to indicate frequency or duration of actions, okay? So, for example, eu viajo uma vez por ano. I travel once a year. So, eu viajo uma vez por ano. Once a year. Por ano. Okay? Another. Eu estudo português 2 horas por dia. Por quanto tempo você estuda? How long do you study? I study Portuguese 2 hours a day. 2 horas por dia. Not me, just an example. Ela trabalha 8 horas por dia. Ela trabalha 8 horas por dia. She works 8 hours a day. So memorize this expression here. Por dia, a day. Por ano, a year. Okay? Or you can say in the past too. For example, nós moramos no Brasil por 3 anos. We lived in Brazil for 3 years. Nós moramos no Brasil por 3 anos. Okay? So it's another possibility you can use. The next situation in which you use the por is to indicate the price you paid for something. So, for example, this is very specific, okay? This is very specific. Let me give you an example. Comprei uma passagem para o Brasil por $200. Comprei uma passagem para o Brasil por $200. I got a ticket to Brazil. I got a plane ticket to Brazil for $200. Por $200. Okay? So this would be por, not para. Por. Consegui Uber por R$30. I got an Uber for 30 reais. Our currency here in Brazil is real. So in the plural we say reais, ok? Consegui Uber por 30 reais. Ok, one more situation you use por. A place that is not the final destination. So just a place you go through, you go through that place, but it's not the final destination. So, for example, o avião passa pelo México antes de chegar no Brasil. O avião passa pelo México antes de chegar no Brasil. So this pelo here is one form of the por. Remember, I told you here. Por plus o becomes pelo. So it would be like saying, o avião passa por o México. But we never say that, okay? We have to say pelo. Pelo México. This is a correct grammatical gathering abbreviation, okay? Pelo is correct. It's the formal way to say. It's the correct way to say, the only way, okay? Por o becomes pelo. What else? It can also be not just places you go through, but situations you go through too, okay? So, for example, eles passaram por muitas dificuldades na vida. Eles passaram por muitas dificuldades na vida. They went through many struggles in life, okay? Por dificuldades, okay? It's something you go through is por. Or to indicate exchange. So you want to exchange something for another. In this case, you use por too. For example, eu quero trocar essa blusa por esse sapato. So I want to exchange this blouse for this shoe. Por, okay? Very good. And also in the meaning of buy, buy something. In this, the song I showed you, let me give you an example with the song. So, Nada por mim foi gravada pela banda Kid Abelha. So, the song Nada por mim foi gravada pela banda Kid Abelha, by the band Kid Abelha. So, in the meaning of by is por too, okay? O bolo foi feito pela minha mãe. The cake was made by my mom. Pela minha mãe. Okay? So, by someone. And also, there are some loosened examples I can give you that are always por. For example, por favor, that means please. Por favor is always por. Okay? Por aí. Por aí. There's another song. Ando por aí querendo te encontrar. Por aí. Ando por aí. I walk around. Ando por aí. So, around. Okay? Por aí. What else? There's another song too. It's an old samba. Deixe-me, preciso andar. Vou por aí a procurar. Vou por aí. I go around. Okay? Another one. Por enquanto. Por enquanto. Saying it fast. So, por enquanto. For now. Por enquanto. Okay? Okay. So, this one also has a song. It's sertanejo. Por enquanto, vamos deixar tudo do jeito que tá. Por enquanto, vamos deixar tudo. Let's leave everything do jeito que tá. The way it is. I'm not gonna get deeply into this. It's just a few examples, okay? Otherwise, we start talking about songs here and we lose track of time. Great. So, I think in the end, I gave you more examples of how to use por because it's more specific, okay? In most of the cases, it will be para. But when it's por, it's specific. So, try to memorize these these context, these examples, okay? It's not a rule, it's not a strict rule, but there are these examples that can guide you into that, okay? That can help you with that. Muito bem. Let me see if we have questions in the comments for now. Let's see here. We have a question here. How to improve at hearing? It's a little frustrating that you take classes, study, do well at the exams, yet you struggle understanding people in the street. Okay, that's a very good question. So, how can you improve your hearing, your listening skills? It's something I struggled with a lot at first, you know. I learned English at an English school, so with a pretty traditional method at first. And I struggled with listening, I struggled with speaking mainly, these two ones, because grammar I was good at. I was learning at a school, you know. But listening and speaking was tough. And my listening improved a lot with music, with songs, okay? So when I started using songs, this improved a lot. Because you need to focus, you need to keep extra focus to when you're trying to learn with songs, you know, because there's also the rhythm, so it's in another language and there is a rhythm, but that's how people pronounce the words, you know. It's a very good way to see how people pronounce those words you struggle with, okay? And it's an easy way because you can listen to music anywhere, pretty much anywhere. So you're in the bus, you can listen, you're walking down the street, you can be listening and practicing. So it's a great way to use, it's a great input resource, okay? Also, anything you can consume in the target language. So if it's Portuguese, anything you can consume in Portuguese, okay? Movies, series, we have these novelas here too, that are the soap operas, very popular here. So anything you can consume in Portuguese will help you with your listening skills, okay? The goal here is to see how people speak, so you can get used to the sounds, to the pronunciation. So when you hear people speaking in real life scenarios, you recognize those songs. You recognize those sounds, okay? Because you saw it before. So you need to see it before. There's no other way, okay? And also practice with Brazilian people if you have a chance. So if you have friends or if you can get into group classes, something like that. So you can practice with people that speak Portuguese or people that are also learning. If you can have some guidance for that, it's very good, okay? So that's it. Practice. Muito bem. Let's go back here to the next question we have. So, when to use eu sou or eu estou? This one is a question that depends on you to know the two different verbs we have in Portuguese for the verb to be. So for the verb to be, we have two verbs, ser and estar, okay? Portuguese, ser and estar. Ser is used for more permanent conditions or states, and estar is used for more temporary conditions or states. So, for example, when I say eu sou feliz, I mean I am a happy person, you know? I'm happy most of the times, I'm a happy person. Eu sou feliz. If I say eu estou feliz, it means I am happy now, okay? Eu estou feliz. In this moment, it can be right now, it can be in this moment of my life. It doesn't matter, it's more temporary. Eu estou feliz, okay? And this rule goes for pretty much anything, not only emotions, okay? So everything that is more temporary, you use estar. And things that are permanent, you use ser. For example, to talk about your nationality. Eu sou brasileira. I am Brazilian. So, eu sou brasileira. That does not change. It's permanent. Eu sou brasileira. But right now, eu estou no Brasil. So, to indicate your location is always going to be estar. Eu estou no Brasil. I am in Brazil. Because maybe some other time I will not be in Brazil. This can change, can vary, okay? So you use ser for like nationality, physical characteristics. For example, eu sou morena. I'm a brunette. This can change. So, for example, if I paint my hair blonde, I can say, agora eu estou loiro. Like now I am blonde temporarily. You can play with these words, with these meanings, okay? But usually for physical characteristics is ser. For marital status too, so for example, eu sou casada, eu sou solteira, I am married, I am single, it's also ser. Profession too, okay? So to say your profession, for example, eu sou engenheiro, I am an engineer, it's something you are, permanent, eu sou, okay? And estar for locations that can change, you know, emotions that are temporary, and also for the present continuous tense. For example, eu estou estudando. I am studying. Eu estou. Okay? I have a complete class about this in my channel. Okay? I'm not gonna go too deep into this because of the time, but I have a complete class about this. I'll leave the link here in the description at the end of this class. Okay? Great. Let's go to the next question. The third question here. In fast speech, how to pronounce the L at the end of the words? So how to pronounce this letter here? We call this letter L, okay? L. So at the end of words, this letter here has a different sound. It's not like in English. So we tend to say it like a weak U, a weak letter U, okay? For example, if I tell you, estou meio mal hoje. Estou meio mal hoje. Sim, estou meio mal hoje. Let me share my screen so you see how we write this and how we say this. Here. Estou meio mal hoje. I'm a bit unwell today. See that I do not say mal. No, estou meio mal hoje. No, I say it almost the same way I say estou. Estou mal. Estou meio mal hoje. And in this case, I do not link with hoje. I say just mal hoje. Estou meio mal hoje. Okay? What else? Let me give you one more example. O final do filme foi triste. O final do filme foi triste. Here we have two examples. Foi triste. O final, it's not o final. In English would be final. It's not that sound, it's final. Do filme. It's not filme. No, filme. You close more your mouth to say it. Filme. Okay? Foi triste. The end of the movie was sad. Final do filme. Okay? So for all these words that end in L, or even when the L is here before a consonant, it sounds like this, like a weak U. Okay? So mal, final, qual. Qual é seu nome? Qual é seu nome? Qual é seu nome? Okay? Some people in some regions can link these two and say qual é? Qual é? But it's a variation, okay? Usually it would be qual é? Qual é? Okay? So memorize this. And also, if you see these true examples, it will be much easier. So start paying attention to this when you listen to a song, when you see a movie or something in Portuguese. Start paying attention to this sound. Alright? Great. And our last question here today. If I want to thank a woman, do I say obrigada or do I say obrigada because she is a woman? Okay, so the person who asked this was a man. Okay, so a man asking, if I want to thank a woman, do I say obrigada because she is a woman? So the answer is no. Okay, whether you say obrigado or obrigada depends if you are a woman or a man. It does not depend on the person you're talking to. Depends on you. Okay, I am a woman, so I am always gonna say obrigada, whether I'm talking to a woman or to a man. Okay, if I'm talking to you here, you are a man, I say obrigada, because it depends on me. It depends if I am a woman or if I am a man. Okay, if you are a man, you are always gonna say obrigado, obrigado. Okay, so if you are a man, always obrigado. If you're a woman, always obrigada. All right, I hope that's clear. Yeah, someone is saying obrigado here in the chat. So memorize this. This is important, okay? It's like something social. I don't know why it became like this, but it's a social context we have here. To say obrigado for men, obrigada for women. Very good. So that's it. Any more questions, guys? You can send in the chat. Your chance is now. If you have any more questions, you tell me here. Let me see. I'm gonna give you a second. I guess no more questions. So that's it for today. I want to thank you for participating, and if you're watching this as a recording, also I want to thank you for watching this video until the end. And if you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of my future videos, which I upload every week. Okay, so every week we have new lessons here on different subjects, and always I'm trying to bring some cool Brazilian songs for you. So stay here with me, subscribe here, follow me on other social media so you don't miss any of it, okay? Muito obrigada, thank you very much. Até a próxima. See you next time. Tchau!